Because while I was in school, I was babysitting. The last time I checked, babysitting is not a prerequisite for a bank professional. So
Mm,
right there, there's no way anyone will see me as a valuable leadership material with an MBA. But I knew once I got my foot into the door, sister, I knew the rest will be history. Within few weeks, few months, I'm being promoted from regular teller to so many roles, assistant vice president, management trainee program, because I was on a mission. Your success does not stop my success. Your
mm,
win should be my win.
I love that.
When your
Mm.
win is my win, we're going to be building together to have more wins and to trust each other.
Welcome back to My Strong Wife Show. As you know, on this special podcast show, this is where we uncover purpose, the passion, and the why behind the powerful legacies, stories, and personalities in the African diaspora and beyond. And today's guest is someone whose journey from boardroom to global diplomacy have proved that persistency matters more than perfection. She is Her Excellency, Dr. Remi Duyile. She is an ambassador and she is a powerhouse. She is a leader who defies all odds as a Nigerian-born woman, rising up to the vice president of the Bank of America. And she is changing lives through economic empowerment, through mentorship worldwide. And in this episode, I'm going to be unpacking her why, the story, and why she believed that real leadership means giving the microphone away before you leave the stage. If you are ready for this conversation, I want you to get your cup of tea and share this link to your friends, and let's get started with this rich conversation that is rooted in purpose. Episode of My Strong Why Show is proudly sponsored by Low Data Publishing, a subsidiary of Low Data Consulting LLC. At Low Data, we help high-achieving entrepreneurs, professionals, and faith-driven coaches turn their stories, wisdom, live assignments into best-selling and six-figure legacy book. Because your story isn't just a content, it is a currency, a calling, and it is a catalyst for transformation. So if you be sitting on a message that the world needs to hear, don't let fear or confusion set in. Let's help bring your book to life. Book your free consultation now at Ludeta Consulting LLC.com, and I'll see you inside. Wow, thank you, Ambassador Dr. Remi Duyile. Thank you for coming to today's My Strong Wife Show episode. And how are you? Let's get ready. Are you ready for us?
Yes, my sister, I'm very ready. And thank you so much for giving me this opportunity on your very brilliant platform where you have interviewed great men and women. So I do not take this opportunity for granted. Thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
You're most welcome, man. Wow. I don't even know where to start. Should we start from your role, becoming an ambassador? Or should we start with your role as a peace ambassador, or from the financial point of view where you, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to allow you to give us a snippet into your little beginning, your background, and then let's take it layer by layer so that people can get to know you more.
Yes, thank you so much. Well said. It's always a good thing to start from the beginning because without a beginning, there's no ending. And my beginning started in the arms of a great father and mother who loved me so much that in my life I've never lacked love. My father was a high chief in my town, and he specially cared for me, even as a high chief, he would take me to my nursery school, which was the only nursery school in my city, Ondo City, Comfort Nursery School. And my praying mother, who was always there, spoiling me to bits. I say all of this, having a father who poured into all of us, who believed in what a man can do, a woman can do. And I tell people, we were not, we didn't lack anything we needed. God was so good growing up. So my story will never be such that, oh, maybe there were no shoes. That would be a lie if I said that. But we were brought up in a very hardworking family. My father, especially, I spent about 6.5 years of my life with him, but I remember him every minute. And he really instilled the confidence that I have in me, because my father didn't live to be 70, but what he accomplished and everything I'm doing now, and I keep going back, where is this energy? Where is this blood? I keep tracing it back, and my siblings will say, Remi, Papa did this, Papa did that. Because I was so young, I didn't see all he did, but I could just thank God for having a father who believed in us and being the baby of the family and just seeing success in front of me. I tell people my role models were nobody that were not in my home. So I didn't have to look far for a lot of things. And I cherish that so much that I made it my business to say, you know what, I'm going to be the best so other people can be enabled to be their best. Because unlikely champion doing extraordinary things can only be by the grace of God. So migrating here to the United States, I had a strong foundation, which a lot of times people didn't know about. They just saw Remi, the Nigerian in America. But there is a greater Remi who came in purpose, for a purpose, with passion, with assignment to measure up with my family, because no matter who I am and what I am, that's nothing that is not been seen in my family. With all humility, it would just be to measure up. So my assignment was to make them proud, to make God proud, to make my mother, my father proud, so they can see that even though they are not living to see what I'm doing, I'm sure they are seeing me wherever they are in heaven, smiling down. So for me, my beginning is very, very special, because that's where my strength is drawn from. Every day I live full, because that's how I lived when I was raised. I never had one day where I wasn't living fully. And when my father passed on to glory, he handed me over to my sister, my older sister, who took me in like a daughter. He intentionally, they didn't want it to be just my mom raising me, because my mom was for me and probably not want me to lift a finger. They wanted me to be in a structured environment. These were older sisters, and they took care of me. And till today, especially, I will mention a name that was very significant, late High Chief Mrs. Oyinwola Oladapo, who raised me after my father went on to glory. And she's also my role model. She had a career on point. She had a family on point. She had community service on point. She did everything that you can want to do as a human being. So every time I do what I'm doing, every time my successes were being celebrated and say, oh, Remi is a vice president now, Remi is this, she would say, oh, I know that. She would say, if your assistant vice would say, oh, you're still going to be the president of the bank. So there was nothing I shared with her that was a surprise, because she said, I saw it coming. So I say all of this so that people who know me now would know that it started way back. I asked people, which bus stop did you meet a Remi Duyile? Was it the bus stop of my life as a child? Was it the bus stop of my life as a Nigerian American, where I started in corporate America? I know you still have things for me to talk about later. Is it my journey to here in America as a corporate citizen, as someone who rose from teller to vice president? Is it my journey as a married, happily married, 36 years in marriage with my best half? Is it raising 3 amazing young children in America, youngest being 29? Which bus stop did you meet me? And that's why I'm always so thankful, giving glory to God, because I know He's the author and finisher of my faith, and He never ceases to do great and wonderful things. So I have the utmost responsibility and assignment to make the world a better place than I met it, through my own little narratives, through my own everyday engagement. That is my commitment. My best might not be always good enough, but I strive for my best. And that's all I can do.
Wow, wow, wow. Wow, I don't know how to describe how I'm feeling. And I'm so glad that this is happening because this is why this show was started in the first place. I can imagine having somebody like you, a powerhouse like you, in the space of faith, leadership, relationship, even beyond that, the fact that every aspect of your life has spoken into how this can shape the legacies that are coming behind us and how this can also help the young men and women that are growing, you know. And I want to take it back to how you said about your humble beginning and how your life was shaped by what your parents did. You mentioned your father's role with regards to some of the strengths and the traits that helped you, that shaping who you are today. And I want to just say a prayer that may his memory continue to remain blessed, both your mom and your late dad, and everything they are putting to you. And that is what we are saying now. You also using this platform and every other platform that God has given you as an extension to seeing what is possible in life if we are ready. And let's now take it back. I know you mentioned it about some of the hidden battles that you said life has taught you with regards to persistence. You mentioned that there are some of your biggest breakthrough came from your hidden battles and how you have been able through the persistency, you have been able to go through and come out greater, better, and you even become more than what you even thought it should be. So I want you to take us into that part of you, that journey of persistency and how it unfolded.
Thank you, my sister. So well put. There's never going to be a gain or an ended expected end without perseverance, without persistency. That's a part of life. And that's where you draw your strength. Because when you're persisting on something, it means you're trying to prove something to someone. But you better be building yourself and you better be encouraging yourself and be willing and open to learning new things so that you're one step ahead of those naysayers that might be watching and saying, oh, what is she going to do now? What is he going to do now? But you know what you're going to do because you're going to keep building, not for you. You're going to be building for yourself to be competent and confident enough to lead, to be that person that the Lord has created you to be. For me, persistency and perseverance. I even wrote a book called Perseverance, the Winning Key to Your Destiny. And people would say, Remi, out of all your experience, why, what a topic. I said, you know why that topic is significant? The hidden measures, the hidden treasures, the hidden pain that became gain today that people see didn't just start as a gain. It started as painful, lonely times where someone who is well brought up, well bred, came in purpose, for a purpose. But when you come to a setting, in this case in America, people didn't know who I am. Here I am with an MBA, graduated, thought I'll go back to my home country, Nigeria, still here ever after. And I always like to say, still making God proud and making Nigeria proud. That's all we can do. Even if I were
Yeah,
in Nigeria, I
awesome.
couldn't do anything less. So, but being able to humbly start as a teller with an MBA wasn't funny to do. But I knew that that was the only way I could get in because while I was in school, I was babysitting. The last time I checked, babysitting is not a prerequisite for a bank professional. So right there's no way anyone will see me as a valuable leadership material with an MBA. But I knew once I got my foot into the door, sister, I knew the rest would be history. Within few weeks, few months, I'm being promoted from regular teller to so many roles, assistant vice president, management trainee program, because I was on a mission. They saw that this was not just a teller, it was a getting foot into the door. But it was tough because the camera was on Remi Duyile because they thought if anybody was stealing, because that was when we had the Nigeria saga in the early 80s, where they would say Nigerians, they have negativity about Nigerians, and they will think that because I'm a Nigerian and I'm in banking, they say Nigeria fraud ring. That's their cliche, and I will stand up to them and ask them what are they talking about. Needless to say that they were watching me and seeing what I was doing. I would be dressed up for the building. I wasn't dressing up for anybody. I was dressing up for myself. They would say, "Oh, Remi, you dress too much for the building." Tell her, growing up in my country, bankers dress good. I didn't know who was a teller, who was a vice president. I went with my sister to the bank. Everybody looked beautiful. By the time she finished her transaction, she was there angry. They made her happy. They gave her money. I said, "Oh, I love this job. I like to look good, make people happy, make them rich." So that was how the seed of wanting to be a banker came in me. So my picture of a banker, no matter what you did in it, was to look good and to serve good. So it wasn't about going there and saying, "Oh, you're a teller, so you dress as a teller." Who says there's a dress code? I dress for me, for my future success. So that did it for me, and I was able to go through all of the pain, but they were still watching, thinking something negative will come because they couldn't figure the confidence that I carry. So they were looking for loops to see how to catch me doing something wrong. And guess what, sister? Then I had two kids. I was like, you know what? You're not good. Number one, I just explained how I was brought up. So I didn't come to America to come and defraud anybody. I came to even align with my family because they were already doing it. They didn't have to come here to do it. So I wasn't going to come here and mess that beautiful name that I described with my father's experience, my mother. So they later found out that this girl was different. And they left me alone. Tell her to vice president. 4 strikes. I always have to underscore. Black.
Yeah. I
Check.
wanted to go there. I want us to do exactly what you just mentioned. Spot on. Let's talk about the first strike. You know, you talk about overcoming the first strike. I want you to be intentional and giving us what those 4 strikes means and the moment you had the courage to confront each and every one of them head on, to turn it to strength. Can you tell us about that? I'm so interested in the first strike.
Yeah, my 4 strikes, at least that I knew, were black, female, Nigerian accent. And sister, when you look at it, I'm black and proud. So I didn't have to overcome it. I wasn't angry that I'm black. I just explained my beginning. My parents are black. There's no color in my country. So for me, that was not my business. If that was your business, then it's on you. I proudly showed and won my blackness. Looked good, did serve people well, respectably, didn't do anything that I didn't feel like was right, and went extra miles to serve and to show up and represent my bank or anyone that I have to represent. So my blackness, to me, if it's your problem, I'm sorry. I'm proud of it. So that was how that wouldn't even, it was more consistency in showing up the way I feel like and not being afraid to go mingle with whoever had other colors that was important to them. I go anywhere. And when I show up in a room, I've earned the right to be there. So I don't shrink. I go there. You don't have to want me in the room. You don't have to smile at me. It doesn't matter. I come there correct the way I want to be seen. And I show up and engage and keep it moving. So the blackness was not even an issue. Female, cis, woman. I just told you about my sister, who is a role model, extraordinary. Late High Chief Oyinwola Oladapo. She finished her career in healthcare. She then now went for another career of building schools. That's how we serve in our family. So tell me about my mother. My father's mother was one of the most enterprising people in my Ondo city. Yeye Lameshes and Labankpe. So, what is a woman? It's not a stigma. It's pride. The women in my family, they show up correct and they work hard and they look good. So for me, you think a woman and you are a man and you're making. My father already told me what a man can do, a woman can do. And he gave me nothing but beautiful experience. When my hair is being done in Nigeria when I was a baby, I would be crying. The minute they put me in his presence, I would be silent. And the people doing the hair would be shaking. So how can you now tell me that a woman is less than a man when my own father takes his flowing agbada to take me to a nursery school and get out of his car and take me to my classroom. Comes back at 3 o'clock to pick me up before he now goes to the court. Come on, you can't tell me that a woman is less than a man, because my father didn't tell me that, nor did he show me that. So for me, you say a woman, you have a problem with a woman, some would say, oh, I can't even, you're so much. I'm saying, hey, welcome to the real world. If you have somebody who is just shrinking because they are a particular sex, that ain't my business. My business is to show you how I can serve you. My business is to add value to your life if I can. If I cannot, show me how to do it. If I'm doing all of that, that's how that was done. Female, we already said that. Black, accent. Says my accent is still as there as ever. Proudly accent. But what I did in corporate America, because I had to serve clients, I would say, oh, we can't hear it. Do you want me to spell it? I'll say A for apple, B for boy, C for cat. I'll go slow. No, Remi, we can hear you. Oh, you just said you couldn't hear me. I'm happy to spell it. And then they shrink this. Oh, we can hear some. I said, well, I will spell all of it. According to me that you hear what I'm saying. So I'll humbly, and I know sometimes it's malicious. It's not because they can't hear me, but I'll kill them with that kindness.
Wow.
And female, black, Nigerian is the fourth one. Proudly Nigerian sister. Sure, I wear my Nigerian pride anywhere, anytime. Still to today. Never one day did I shrink. Not now that everybody thinks people need to go. So I've been here 41 years. I've never one day, my American friends will hear this, they will know. They proudly know I'm Nigerian. Anything they see that's Nigerian, they are checking in. They see my Afrocentric appearance and the way I carry myself. So nobody needs to wonder, where are you from, Remi? I've always been Nigerian and proud. Just because during that phase in the 80s, there were a lot of irregularities going on in the financial settings, and there were people who were not Nigerians too, and they were Nigerians. Just because Nigerians are doing stuff doesn't mean I have to shrink from my nationality, especially if I don't have any skeleton in my cupboard. I just show up and I tell them in boardrooms, hey, if you're talking about Nigerian in this boardroom, I'm Nigerian. They say, oh, we didn't know that. I said, you hired me. I'm a Nigerian. And do your countries change? And I'll say, if you dare bring it up again, there will be some problems. So we're sorry. I said, when you say that, you hurt my feelings. Do not, when I'm present, bring your negativity report about Nigeria. I know you're seeing what you're seeing, but it hurts my feeling. You say the Jewish people, there are people who do things. The Irish, they drink. Do we go around and say every Irish person is just going to be a drunkard? No. So I had to fight those things, and I overcame those strikes. And those people till today became my friends because they can remember the Remi, the 25-year-old Remi rising and just showing up and showing out. And I give glory to God for all of this. I'm not saying this, but I give credit to my upbringing. I give credit to my environment because that's where I draw my strength from. Not from what I see with people I'm meeting now after 41 years. No, it's already seated in me to the glory of God. And I want others to feel that way. You have to own your power because nobody gave it to you. Nobody created you. So you have to own your power.
I'm so grateful for this conversation. I was just going to follow up with a question because what you have just said inspires a lot of hope in some of us, and in fact, many more that will listen to this episode. Because I wanted to ask you to look into how best can we help women in leadership, or those people that are aspiring to one day become another Remi, in the boardroom, who is going to be having session and you'll be making your voice so clear and so hard. How can, or what are you going to say that can help protect that sense of dignity? Just like you mentioned, gratitude to the upbringing you have. If there are people that have not been able to get that kind of upbringing on the beginning, what will you advise them to do to be able to own their voice and their space with regards to living in the diaspora and taking initiative?
Thank you so much, my sister. And it doesn't have to begin with just your upbringing. It
Mm,
begins with some formula. There's a conference we're going to have in March, and I'll give you more details as that come in. That is going to be a boot camp for 2 days where we're going to be pouring into women. You said something. Succession leadership is very paramount to me. Intentionally leaving the mic so somebody else can take over the mic. I heard you when you did your introduction. That caught my attention. Like I'm on the right show. That succession leadership begins with you willingly wanting to create stages so other people can come and do it better. You said to be Remi. No, Remi is not. Is Remi will be a starting point. They are going to catapult it with the AI and all this technology. Remi will be like a start, a beginning phase for them. They will be escalating to greater things. But it begins first knowing who are you? Who are you? And
mm,
whose are you? Your faith
mm,
has to be strong. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to sit here and judge anybody's faith because I'm not God. Whatever your faith is, you have to anchor it in something greater than you. It can't be
mm,
anybody that you can see. It has to be a faith that's anchored on something greater than you because that's the only way you can keep striving. The best of men and women will fail you. They will
mm,
see something that's coming that you don't see, and they're going to shut it down through action, reactions, and so on and so forth. But you have to know who are you. When I
mm,
say knowing who you are, it's not, yeah, my beginning is beautiful. Thank God for that. Some beginnings might not be so great.
mm,
Again, it's not the end of the world. It's just the ability to say, where do you need help? Even when I came here to the US, my beginning was strong, yes, but my strength in my country didn't hold water here. I still had to deal with a lot of pain still
mm.
today. There are still people who still try to shake me, and I'm like, shoot, only if you knew how far I've been in this game. You must have met me at the wrong
Unshakable.
bus stop.
You got to know
I
who
said,
you are.
if you had known my story, if maybe they listen to your show and then they can know who they are dealing with, then you won't even waste your time to come near me because it's too late to do
Mm,
that. But you have to first know yourself and you have to know how to build what you need help with. For me, I didn't get a chance to bring that up. I did not like to speak. I
mm,
hated speaking. I was afraid. But in corporate
mm,
America, meeting my goals, exceeding my goals, relatable, service check, relationship check. But
mm,
you call me to come and tell people, speak and talk about anything. I'm gonna shrink like a couch potato. And I sometimes blame that on my family. I said they just gave me everything, so I didn't really have to fight for anything. So I didn't know that I had to raise a voice because there was no need to ask for anything. It was given. So I just jokingly say that, but that's no excuse. But I knew that that was becoming. They left me to be that quiet Remy, but I said no. This quiet Remy have to get her voice because the story I'm telling you now, nobody can tell it like me because I'm
mm.
telling you what I lived.
Yes,
I'm
indeed.
not telling you what I Googled. This is a
Mm,
Remy story. Anybody can come and confront me and question what I'm saying. This is
mm,
my life. So
mm,
knowing who you are, knowing which areas do you need to have your strength. How can you serve your way to greatness? Strategic volunteerism is very important.
mm,
Offering to help, not for what you're going to get, because people will tell quickly. If your need for access is to just get now,
mm,
the getting will come, trust me. And when it comes, it's going to come big because people don't forget those who truly serve, who truly give. So your strategic volunteerism will give you exposure to see, to be in rooms and to
mm,
be with people that ordinarily you wouldn't have access to. It could be as simple as setting the table. I was never a golfer when I was in corporate America. But I knew that you can make your deals on the golf course. And I'm a smart businesswoman. And like, why do I have to be begging? I can go relatably make my goals and not have to fight over customers who walk in the bank. What do? I volunteer for golf tournaments. I didn't even have golf kits or anything. Like my boss will bring his son's golf kit. So I'll go with him. my purpose for going is not to play alone. It's mostly to meet the money people so I can meet my goals. So I'll volunteer to do the registration. And I'm a vice president. I'll say, okay, I'll man the table because everybody going in will have to come through me. And the people I want to connect with, they know. I'll say, I need to talk to you. So by the time they are leaving, they say, Remi, you said you want to talk to me. Yes. So I'm closing my deals on that golf course because I
Oh
came
my
here on a
God, I
mission.
love that. Intentional. Mm,
So being able to know where you need strength and go get it. And you always have to find ways to enhance your life. You
mm,
have to always want to know more and be more, not for your sake,
mm,
so you
mm,
can be a service to others. Because as
mm,
you serve others, God
mm,
blesses
mm,
because He is going to use you and I as a channel of blessing.
mm. Wow.
And that's what we have to equip ourselves to be so that when those services come, we are that channel. We can't be a channel if we have not equipped ourselves. Equip means going for training. I had to go train with Dale Carnegie, took an 8-week course so I can
Mm,
break my silence. I had to go to the Les Brown, paid thousands of dollars because
mm,
I needed to find my voice. I knew this voice is needed for the world. And I'm
mm,
so thankful. From that day till now, anything my voice has to be rendered for, I'm ready for it.
mm. Oh my God. Awesome. I love what you talked about intentionally volunteering and then also keeping ourselves. These are strong, strong words there. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's go into some of the impacts and some of the programs and initiatives you are into. I remember part of what I read about you while researching, you have a foundation that is empowering hundreds of entrepreneurs, small business owners. Let's talk about the why behind that foundation and what is the success story that someone who is needing something need to hear about that foundation. Yeah, let's talk about that.
Thank you. I am the founder of Legacy Premier Foundation almost 17 years ago. I was in corporate America and I served a lot of people from those who had $0 to millions and so on and so forth. So I saw a whole lot. Of course, my heart is always to give. I believe that when people say, Remy, what do you do? I see myself as people developer, meaning I'm willing to share what I have. I'm
Yeah.
willing to teach. I'm willing to learn and all of those things never end. So success is never going to be a destination. It's going to be a journey forever.
Mm,
So Legacy Premier Foundation was created as a vehicle to be
mm,
able to help the underserved, whether it be in the area of financial literacy, because I know the power of finance,
yeah.
because I was in corporate setting for 17 years in all roles, retail, business, banking, commercial. I really wanted to go start my bank, but that's another story. So I knew that financial literacy was important. I also knew that entrepreneurship is important. This nation, America, the small businesses, they are the lifeblood of this economy. So I
Mm,
knew that small businesses who come through the door to start their business today, they're going to grow. They're going to pivot. They're going to need to know the process. And I sat at advantage as a worker of a corporation, helping people do all of that. So when
mm,
I left, I knew I have to continue to serve people because that's where I derived my joy from. So
mm,
that's how we started the entrepreneurship. And by the grace of God, with my service in the community, I got to meet other people who were bigger and better, who knew things. So through those networks, I was able to uncover other ways that people can be helped. So that became another assignment. Like, okay,
mm,
one would chase 1,000, two would chase 10,000, boom, 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 boom. And now there were more than two. So we can chase so many. So we started leveraging those who know, leveraging what I have, battering what I have, and letting people know my plight. And my network, I want to say that I'm thankful to my mentors and my rich network. When I say rich, not in terms of cash,
mm,
richness in terms of giving,
mm,
serving, pouring, knowing that together we can collaborate, we can build together. And that's what Legacy Premier Foundation is all about. And we're just doing a lot of great things. The youth doing experiential tours, doing women leadership. And it's not just local. We do things in other nations because technology is a click of a button. And I have mentors and mentees all over the world who are doing it big in their respective homes. And my children also are helping to ensure that this is continuum, especially my daughter who has taken over to ensure that this is taken to that next level.
Wow, awesome. This conversation, I'm not sure we are going to be able to keep to our normal 40 minutes, but let's keep on because I'm enjoying this. And I know a lot of viewers over there at home are also. And I'm going to be having to still bring you back. I know, definitely, as we progress. But let's talk about the global impact you just mentioned. As a United Nations Peace Ambassador, and there are so many global opportunities. We've heard all about the fact that we talk about AIDS, but globally, how do you see us evolving, and what are those key cultural leadership, wisdom that you've learned working in that space that can help individuals and even corporates, every one of us, to be able to see how we can begin to engage on the table and see what we can bring or we can get to help improve our community?
Thank you so much for that question. It starts in our heart. It starts with consistency. You said it too. Persistency. There's no formula or criteria per se. It's being consistent in the little things that we do every day and constantly engaging and looking to serve and serve with the true intentions. You never know who is watching you. So there's a whole wild web of people watching every act you perform. Be natural, be genuine. People are looking for authentic people. There has to be authenticity. Yes, I'm a Nigerian American. I never one day hide to say, oh, if I'm in this setting, I'm not Nigerian. Instead, I would rather, if I have my way, I will wear Afrocentric things that would always depict, that would be different. And I still have that in my mindset. One day, maybe I'll have a design for that. But I say all of this to say that there is no, we are already doing it. What you're doing now, you are doing it. You are bringing people to tell their stories. People who would never maybe have access to inviting me to talk about anything. Now they will. So when you talk about the United Nations, it's the whole world coming together. Are we going to be able to go to all the different worlds, all the different nations? Maybe not, but our voice can be sent on those nations. And all it will take is somebody to hear, but your consistency has to be there. I love to get people to know how to be empowered using their voice, to not be afraid of speaking. I do all of that because I was a fearful person when it came to speaking, and I saw how it held me down in corporate America. And the minute I yanked myself from that fear, the rest was history. So my life history and experience in corporation, at home raising 3 amazing children, being married for 30 something years, is what is my living Bible next to my real Bible. So I know what I'm going through, other people are going through. What I need, other people will need. What I needed that I didn't get, other people need it. So why should they have to go through the pain? If we can create through a collaborative measure how to serve others and together build together. We go faster if we go as a group versus individually. So I'm trusting that one day we will have a better collaborative measure on how we can all engage so that whether it be the United Nations, America, Nigeria, all the continents, we have greatness in us. We have power in us. What we need to start and finish is in us. Just have to develop it. And the world is waiting for us. So we cannot stop dreaming, stop living. We got to keep living, and we cannot afford to shrink for nobody. No shrinking. You leave yourself full and be respectful and be committed to impact in your own understanding. And every day we grow and we learn different models and we keep moving. And that's what we teach. When we have our programs, we bring other women of relevance, of experience, of expertise, so that our young leaders especially can learn from that. And I'll give you more details once we make it once we make the official announcement. It will be a 3-day event, and we dovetail it with other global initiatives that's in the works with the team.
Awesome. I'm going to be following up on that, as you rightly said. Thank you very much for that. I'm going to be asking 2 more questions before I let you go. You know, looking at our diaspora community and so many things, and I want to give it to you because you have held many leadership positions and also, you know, 2-time commissioner. And then looking at how our multicultural community is, and you have been an advocate, I want you to talk about what are those things that you wish we could understand better to help us in our progressiveness and in our togetherness, in forging a greater and a stronger community that we can have. You know, because I know one truth. There are other communities, but there's something that we still not gotten. And because of how you have been able to evolve at different strata, I believe there's something you must have learned, maybe, that we need to pay our attention to. We might need to start.
Thank you, my sister. I pray that the Lord continues to minister to our hearts. Navigating in a system that's different than what you're used to can be very difficult. It can be sometimes chaotic, especially those who might have grown up in a particular setting before they came. I came at age 18, so I was more like a teenager, still in that growth setting. So it might be, you know, but there are people who are already made. They've graduated from college. They have their cultural orientation and so on. And now they migrate here and they're here. And it takes a process. Number one, it takes validating who we met here. Validating doesn't mean that you're going to shrink yourself. It means that you're going to appreciate the process. And as you appreciate the process, you're going to do it through strategic volunteerism, not strategic volunteerism with immediate gratitude, immediate expectation. That's called eating your birthright. When you go in that tic-tac-toe, tit for tat, you do this, I do this. No, that is not the orientation of real relationship. Real relationship takes years to cultivate.
Gratification.
You need to understand that there are some lessons. And when you're learning, it's okay to be silent sometimes. It's okay to let other people shine. It's okay to validate others. And of course, we always want to validate ourselves and appreciate ourselves, but it's okay to let other people shine through your setting. That's going to give them permission to trust you. And when they trust you, they're going to open up more. And they might tell you 1 or 2 things that you don't know, that I don't know. And I think as a community, we need to be more intentional about that. We might have our own agenda. We might have our own orientation of how things should be done. But there's a process to it. Your process, my sister, that you're thinking might be different from what I'm used to. It doesn't mean my process is not good and yours is better. It just means that it's a process and we will do it in a timely manner. And trusting each other. Trust is earned. Trust is earned. And serving, being there to serve, not when we see that we're going to get something. Not when we have an agenda to say, oh, I want to meet this person. Can we just serve because it's a beautiful thing? And just trust God that God will breathe upon your work? I've been in this space for, like I said, 41 years. I've served in so many capacities. Up until maybe a few years, I would say under 5 years, did I start even seeing manifestation of some of the work that I've done. But have I built relationship? Absolutely. I've built relationship that I've been able to call to be a blessing to me and to others. But if I have to say, have I profited financially and things like that? That would not be something that I can say it's been for the whole 40 something years. And until we get the orientation that relationship is work and it needs to be nurtured, it needs to be watered. And we need to validate, give honor to who honor is due. Validate those who we know have understanding of you. If you met them here, we met the Americans here. They know their system. We are here. If we're going to learn their system, we need to we need to trust them. They need to trust us. We need to embrace them. They need to embrace us. But it will take more of us showing them that we care and consistently in our action, not when we're on stage or we're having activity with them. That's what I would say we need to do. And for those of us who are maybe multiculturally in the same setup, understanding our whys. And when we're talking about the group why, it has to be unanimous. Our individual whys might be different, but we cannot bring our individual whys to take over the good of the group. We will miss it. Number one, we will shortchange ourselves, because now I'm supposed to be making a demand for the betterment of the continent. I'm trying to slip in the little old legacy. No, this ask is beyond one entity. But how do you position it that people can trust that you can be that front to the other entities? Because your success does not stop my success. Your win should be my win.
I love that.
When your win is my win, we're going to be building together to have more wins and to trust each other. That is so important. And when we can do that, we'll be fine. And I'm thankful that our young leaders, our children who are born here, they are figuring out that formula. Most of the time, they don't want to use our formula because we're not relatable to one another. They are building together and not stopping. That will be my advice. And I'm talking to myself as I'm talking to you. I'm not talking at anybody for those who will hear this later. But I've been around for a minute and I do know what I'm talking about. And God willing, I pray the Lord helps us to learn more from ourselves and use wisdom.
I love that.
Navigate this great system that is beautiful and is enriching for all. But it takes a process and it takes a formula. And we must properly decode that formula and not just jump, because we will jump and we will scare people off. And that will be that door that God wanted to use. But we will still get to the door, but it will take a longer route because you just got somebody excited about your anxiety or ambition and all that. So immediately they shrink. And we're back to grinding. So, but God will help us. I know we're human. Human beings are the hardest species to manage. We're all species that are different. Thank God for God being our creator who can manage all of us. But God will help us. I don't know if that sheds some light, if that makes sense at all.
Justice to the person. And I just love the statement you made. Your win is my win. And when we're able to see life in that lens, when we're able to come out of all the competitive jealousy and be able to see that your thriving is in any way going to help me in thriving. Because if I'm located niche down in this particular space and you are niche in another space, I will be needing you in this space while you also will be needed. So that's togetherness and that collective approach and understanding that your win is going to help me in this area. And because I have you there, I am covered. And this is how our world's supposed to connect. And together we can thrive. I love that. I know I was not able to ask you about you posting a training just to mentor someone. And also so many other questions I would love to ask you with regards to your advice for anyone, whether a young man, a woman, who is just feeling like it's disqualified or the system at the moment is just weak for their favor. and they just want to evolve. And maybe we'll just take that question to wrap up this conversation, because I know you're a very busy person, and getting you to sit down with me for this long, I know it's I don't want to take it for granted. So just give us an approach to tackling that for those people that just started up and we love to.
I would just say thank you, my sister. I would say for those who are going through a phase and they think everything looks so foggy and hazy, I would just say please hold on.
Mm,
Um, God is working things out. I'm not trying to sound just spiritual. God is working things out. And I would say keep working on yourself as you wait. And you might want to say, what do you mean by working on yourself? If you want to know more details, reach out to the show, to the show organizer. She will give you more details on that. Work on yourself. I told you my own deficiency. There's no matter how great you are, there's something you can learn more. What
mm,
certification can you get out there that's free online while
mm,
you're waiting for that Kairos moment, that moment of aha?
mhm,
Can you do some things that will keep giving you layers of knowledge and certification that is free? Google has so many certifications that's free, and so many companies. I don't work for Google, by the way.
mm,
There's so many certification programs that you can do online. Go on. AI is very popular. Embrace AI. Do not be afraid of AI. It's going to make your life better. What are those things you can learn while you wait for that great moment? And you
mm,
might say, oh, I've lost my job and this happened. You don't understand. I will never understand. You will never understand my plight. If I tell you my plight, you'll be like, huh? Who? I mean, I've gone through phases like this. I've lost a whole mortgage company, all I worked for, went to zero, and I'm
mm,
still here. So I've gone to that rock bottom setting. By now, I shouldn't necessarily be in the workforce. I should be,
mm,
if I can boldly say, be retired and sipping coffee somewhere because I worked hard. But when you have to restart again, and God gives you the strength to restart, you
mm,
keep going. So if you're out there and you're saying it's tough, they don't get it,
mm,
they don't see me. God sees you. Can
mm,
you see yourself? Can you try to see yourself? And how you see yourself is getting knowledge. Go and get more skills. One day, in not distance, somebody is going to like that skill. They're going to see what you did, and that will be the breakthrough. So that will
mm,
be my advice, whether male, female, young, old, because it's a tough time for some right now. And some people are living in abundance. That's how life is. There's never
mm,
going to be a perfect time. But
mm.
can you embrace yourself? Can you find something you can pat yourself on the back and say, thank God I did this? You can do it. We can do it. And God bless us all as we do it. And thanks for having me on this show. I've enjoyed myself. I've learned a lot from you and your passion for wanting to create platform for voices to be shared for humanity work. And I pray the Lord will continue to elevate the show, you're an author, and the great things that you do for the good of the community. So thank you, Ma.
Wow, absolutely so spoken. Thank you very much, Ambassador Dr. Remi Duyile. You know what? This conversation doesn't feel like it's ending, but I know we have to go. And to all our listeners, if you join this program late, you just have to go and get yourself seated and play over again and again and again. Because I can tell you from straight that many of what you are hearing for free, as she has rightly said, she has poured out her wisdom, her heart in this interview for every one of us to remember what it means to build quietly and to be persistent. And when you persist, you perfect the art. And when the time comes for your opportunity for you to be revealed, then that version of you that will be revealed to the world is the one that the world is ready to celebrate. And I pray every one of us will take the truth and the wisdom that she had shared in this episode to go start learning a skill. You want to write a book, you have an expertise, You don't know how to. This is the beginning of the journey for you. And I hope to see you on another episode with another amazing guest. And until then, thank you very much, Ambassador Dr. Remi Duyile. I'm so happy that you were able to make time for us. And please remember to like, to share this video with many contacts of yours that need to hear this, because I believe this is a must-watch episode for every one of us in this community. And so thank you for coming, and I will definitely follow up with those trainings, and I'll be sharing it as time permits. And until I see you, thank you very much for coming, and have a wonderful time. Episode of My Strong Why Show is proudly sponsored by Low Data Publishing, a subsidiary of Low Data Consulting LLC. At Low Data, we help high-achieving entrepreneurs, professionals, and faith-driven coaches turn their stories, wisdom, live assignments into best-selling and six-figure legacy book. Because your story isn't just a content, it is a currency, a calling, and it is a catalyst for transformation. So if you be sitting on a message that the world needs to hear, don't let fear or confusion set in. Let's help bring your book to life. Book your free consultation now at lodataconsultingllc.com, and I'll see you inside.